back to our YouTube channel. I'm Galia. On today's episode, we are talking about 3 things no one tells you about relationships. And today, I'm joined by another of my friends, Andrea.
Hi guys.
So Andrea, introduce yourself to everyone. Tell us 3 fun things about you.
Great. So hi, I'm Andrea. Number 1, me and Galia share this. I love houseplants. I've supplied Galia with a lot. I'm not that good at taking care of them. I've killed a few, but I've got enough that it makes up for it. Second thing about me is, again, another thing we share. I love nail polish. I'm obsessed with painting my nails. I have a collection of at least 100 nail polishes.
So Barry M, if you're watching and you want to do a collab with us, thank you.
Yeah, that would be great. Third thing about me, maybe the most exciting, is I'm getting married. I'm planning a wedding in 10 weeks. So, yeah, it's very exciting.
Yay! As you know, the whole point of this kind of mini series of videos is that we have the conversations with you that we're kind of already having in private, but it's probably worth all of us knowing about them. So when it comes to relationships, I thought I'd have this little conversation with all of you and with Andrea because she's got loads of wisdom to share about things we all need to know about relationships. So should we jump right in?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go. The first thing you told us that no one usually tells you about relationships is that they affect your friendships.
Yeah. I feel like people do know this a bit because everyone kind of has that friend who they get a boyfriend and then suddenly they don't want to hang out with you anymore, and it's like you're inviting them to things and they're like, oh no, sorry, I need to spend time with my boyfriend, and you can get really
Or they do that like, sorry, I can't, no reason, and you're like,
you know,
it's him.
yeah, or you see on Instagram and you're like, oh, just on another date night with
is
him.
that a man's hand in that photo?
On the other side of it, like, they affect your friendships, and that's okay. You do want to spend time with them. You're in a relationship with them for a reason, because you like them, you like their company. But then also, maybe less positively, but I wish someone had told me this before, was that some people will stop wanting to hang out with you because you're in a relationship. Like, maybe they're not in a place where they can deal with that right now. But then also, you'll have people who suddenly will want to hang out with you because you're in a relationship. Usually couples. You can go on loads of double dates, which is really fun.
Do you think there is a way we can tell about like when a relationship is healthily affecting our friendships and when it's maybe veered into less healthy, we're maybe more dependent on like one another in a relationship? Like, can you tell when it's healthy or unhealthy? Do you need people to tell you?
I think like having close friends around you who knew you before you were in a relationship and listening to them and being open to them, if they you know, pull you up on something and say, you haven't spent time with me in a month, because every free moment you get, you're with that person. Don't be defensive, like, listen to it, like, take their criticism. You don't have to listen to criticism from everyone, but those close friends.
Okay, so the second thing that you said is they're inconvenient.
They are so inconvenient. And like, you just know, you never hear this before you're in a relationship. You think it's the best thing ever. Firstly, just they cost a lot. Single life is the time when you need to be saving. You're going on dates a lot, you're having to like think of like fun activities to do, which obviously everything costs money, and then like presents for birthdays and Christmas, you want to go above and beyond, so they cost loads.
And then as the relationship progresses, you get closer to their family.
Then you have to get their family presents. Oh my goodness. But then there's also like the inconvenience of you having to put someone first in your life, prioritising them, like kind of what we said before about them affecting your relationships.
Yeah, I mean, you say about them being expensive and costly, but actually probably one of the most valuable assets we have is actually our time, even over like money and finances. And if anything, a relationship is probably more costly with time even than money.
You want to do all these fun things, you want to go on holiday, but like if you want to be a Christian and you want to honour God with that, putting boundaries in place, then suddenly you're like, okay, we want to go on holiday, we don't want to share a hotel room, we're going to get 2 hotel rooms, double the price. It's worth it, it's worth putting those boundaries in place. It's worth being inconvenienced by someone to, you know, have that relationship, to love them, to put them first.
I think that's such good insight, and even for people who like aren't in relationships yet but would desire a relationship, using the season you're in right now in your relationship status to consider, oh, if it feels like I've not really got time to be dating, consider what Andrea's saying about how much time a relationship requires, and you know, there's something to be said for it is costly, it is hard work potentially, though really infinitely worth it, and it's worth honouring God in the process. But let's not kid ourselves that it is like Hollywood would have us believe. And the third thing that you've given us, Andrea, is they're not permanent.
They are not permanent.
But I thought love is forever.
Well, the movies do say. And this is a big thing, particularly in the Christian world, just because, you know, it feels very high pressure. As soon as you start dating someone, people at church are always asking you, when's the wedding?
Will he propose soon? When's the baby?
Oh my goodness.
Calm down.
And you're like, I've been on one date with him. So. But you know, relationships are not permanent. They shouldn't be high pressure. They should actually, like, particularly when you're in the early stages of like dating or getting to know someone, like you haven't made a high level commitment. And it could go either way. You could break up, you could get married, and I think that that's something that we need to be particularly more accepting of, but we just need to make it clear. And I think there's just this whole thing where we call it a failed relationship if two people break up, but actually it's not always a failure.
It could be successful singleness.
Exactly. Like, you've probably learned a lot from that relationship, which means it's not a failure, it's been a lesson. But then also, you know, if you were getting to know each other and you thought, actually, this is not a future that I can see us having together, we've got different priorities, we're not working towards the same purpose, then actually to break up with someone where you've made that decision, it's been a difficult decision, I think that means it's a success. So relationships aren't permanent, but that's not a bad thing.
So we would love to know, wouldn't we, how today's episode has spoken to you. We'd love to know what one thing of these three has really resonated with you. So why don't you comment down below, let us know what resonated with you, and maybe let us know what's one thing that you think no one normally tells you about relationships that might be worth talking about as well. Make sure that before you leave that you hit like on this video, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and why not check out some of the other content on the channel as well. We really hope that it inspires and helps you and helps build you up and encourages you wherever you're at in your relationships right now. We will see you soon. Bye.